From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon with huge news today, with now 12 categories of checks that pull nearly 100 checks for you. We'll go over the latest details across the board in a brand new recording for August 28th, 2022. Plus, the earnings recession underway. We'll go over the latest details why more companies are guiding downward for the rest of the year and what it means for you. Then, the big week that there was when Jay Powell announced the Fed spikes, or at least the future of Fed spikes. We understood this was going to happen, but why was Wall Street shocked by the news? And why did it fall 1,000 points on Friday? We'll have the latest details across the board. Unemployment claims have been relatively flat, but is next week going to go higher? Your benefit raises are going up a lot, especially with those Jay Powell comments, because inflation is pervasive, and we'll go over the latest detail as inflation has not peaked with those component parts. Housing is really falling apart in a recession, and more housing data is expected after a week when more data was released and not particularly good. That's why you want to become a member. Go right in this video and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. We'll go over the raise of your benefits, that lifetime of stimulus. Then we'll go over the details of your recession, your economy, your benefit raise, and your housing market, your unemployment, and your forced stimulus. The breaking news coming up in just a second. Plus, we'll go over why viewers are getting so much money and how you can as well from this forced stimulus. Over $100,000 viewers are getting it, and it's your opportunity as well. And it's a big night. In the second half of this video, we're going to meet two new cast of characters. Their names are Mubba and Bubba. No, Mubba and Wubba. Mubba and Wubba. What do they know and what do they absolutely not know? Well, let's give a preview of what they don't know. Basically everything. They basically don't know anything. We're going to go over Wubba and Mubba in the big second half. Oh boy, you stay with me because we're going to have a lot of fun. Stimulus coming to you. Nearly $100,000 of money. It's for stimulus for every Americans from the shores of Santa Monica, California. The breaking news starts right now on a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE. And good afternoon, everybody, from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's a beautiful August 28th, 2022. We have a preview of what's coming to LA 2 and LA 3 next week. Boy, we got a lot of money. Stay with me in the second half. We're going to go over these huge stimulus, nearly 100,000 over 12 new categories of checks, 9 of them that are brand new. It's just really exciting. But first, we're going to start with that earnings recession, the big downward spiral of this economy that manifests itself with downward guidance and earnings misses this last week. We're going to have more about that this week as well. When you look at earnings for the second quarter of 2022, more companies miss than beat. And also, they really downward guided. What does downward guided mean? They give you projections for the rest of the year. And it's not good, folks. It's not good. What do we have on Friday? We had on Friday Gap rallying up 6% when they beat. Good for them. Affirm Holdings missing, slumping 13.5%. Everbridge up 14.3%, beating. Dell falling 6%, missing. We had also beating Workday and Ultra Beauty, which seems to always ultra perform. Of course, the cosmetic company always does really well. But we had a day before that. This whole last week was the retail sales companies that you may shop at, like Target and BJ's, which is basically like a Costco but smaller. Walmart beat, BJ's beat. On the high end, we had Estee Lauder missing, and then Tapestry, which feeds companies in its portfolio like Coach and also Kate Spade beating very dramatically, but Target was the major story. Target had downward guide in the month of May, then June, then July, and really still missed. Ouch. So this is a very bad indication of this economy across the board. Another indication of where this economy is the unemployment claims. This last week, we came in at basically a flat number. 240, 243, 245. It's basically the same number. Not good because it's basically the second worst performance of 2022. And that is after we really was only 143. Imagine how fast that's gone up. It's gone up 100,000. Since the month of April, it surged to 200, then 230. And what happened just days before that? Well, I had predicted the 200. I had predicted the 230. What happened right after that? It went to 260. So the fact that we're at 240, 243, that's nothing to celebrate. It's basically a flat number. Now, of course, the major story across the board was what happened with Jay Powell. Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, spoke on Thursday at Jackson Hole, and we knew what he was going to say. We just did not understand what's going on with Wall Street. It was a week ago today, a week ago last weekend, when I said, we already know what Jay Powell is going to say at Jackson Hole. We already know what the Federal Reserve is going to do this fall. But there's something wrong going on with Wall Street analysts, where they're ignoring the Fed governor's own words, and that there's going to be a stock market crash. How correct were we with that prediction on this channel? I got 100% correct. Wall Street is down 400 points on Monday, down 650 on Monday, down 150 on Tuesday, down 1,000 points on Friday. My goodness. Last weekend, I said, in fact, actually all last week, not last week, the week before that. So over the last 2 weeks, I've been saying that the Fed governors have made it very clear. They have made it very clear whether it's Bowman, Fed Governor Bowman, Daly, or Fed Governor Bullard have all said they're going to have interest rate spikes until they get inflation to a target of 2%. This is hideously important for you for many reasons. First, for your benefits. Second, for this economy. They're going to continue to spike starting in September indefinitely until they get inflation down to 2%. And I think Michelle Bowman said it the clearest. I need it down to 2%. I need to keep it at 2%, and I need to stay at 2% for a while. Where is it? It's 8.5%. How quickly does it move? Very slowly. They've been trying this since early 2022 with 75 and 50 basis points, and it's moved all of a half a percentage point. A half a percentage point since the month of January. It doesn't move very quickly. So, over the last 2 weeks, I've been saying the Fed governors, in my projection, will be doing 75 basis point every single month starting September all the way through December, and potentially after that until they get it to 2%. For a while. What's a while? At least 3 months. How close are we? We're not close at all. And that was based upon their own words at their own mouths. Now, Wall Street, I was also saying over the last 2 weeks, was saying 50 basis point, one more spike, and we're done. How can you say that nonsense? How can you say that ridiculous nonsense when the Fed governors say the exact opposite? You're betting against the Fed governors by saying a Fed pivot, which is basically saying the Fed governors are going to pivot and change their mind. They're not. You're basically saying the Fed governors will change. They're not. And I also said, if Wall Street continues to do this, they're going to crash. Why? Because they're not embedded the risk into the markets of interest rate spikes on the Fed governors after the month of September. It's very dangerous. And that's why we crashed on Monday, 650, because Wall Street had not embedded the risk. That's why we crashed 1,000 on a Friday after Jay Powell's comments and Jackson Hole. And what did Jay Powell say on those incredible comments at Jackson Hole? Exactly what you said he was going to say, with the exception of the 75 basis point. He didn't give you a number. He was a little bit more vague on that. Jay Powell said, target rate of 2%. We're staying with it, with more interest rate spikes until we get to 2%, and stay there. There you go. Ding, ding, ding. Everything we knew he was going to say, and Wall Street was shocked. Oh, come on. Come on, ridiculous Wall Street. You knew he was going to say this. We heard it from the other 3 governors over the last 2 weeks. Come on already. This is ridiculous. Game playing by you. And they were shocked. They crashed 1,000 points. Let's go over the exact quotes. One of the quotes, I think, there's actually 2 quotes in here, I really think are very helpful for us, is that we must keep at it until the job is done. We have to have, let's translate that. We have to have interest rate spikes until we're at 2% for a while. So Wall Street simply was betting against those words. This is ridiculous by Wall Street. Let's go to this other word across the board that my focus and my message must be more direct. Why is he doing this? Because Wall Street was not listening to him. And I think they were actually acting ridiculous. Here is another word. We have to do this before inflation becomes entrenched. What is entrenched? It basically means you get used to the new escalated, inflated price of goods as your new normal. Example, milk, let's say, used to be $2 a gallon, and now it's been $5 a gallon for the entire year. You start to believe that $5 a gallon is your new normal, and you pay for that $5 normally as your new psyche. He says, I need to erase that as your psyche because you won't be able to afford that indefinitely. That's absolutely true. Your salaries have not gone up, and your retiree, your benefits have not gone up. Here's another part of the quote that I really like across the board. There's going to be greater pain. I like that because Wall Street was really betting on, oh, good times are here to stay. Stop it. Stop it. 75 basis point for month after month from September to December is not a celebration party. And that's what they were doing. They're having a celebration party on Wall Street these last few weeks, trading up stocks since the month of June, straight up, celebrating good times are here to stay. He also had another quote in here that we need to stay with this for a while. And that was basically the message. They were surprised. They were surprised. You surprised? I was surprised. No, we knew this was going to happen. They told us this was going to happen. That's why he said I need to be a little bit more direct because you're not listening to me. Who is this similar to? It's the character coming up later in this channel and later in this video. His name is Wubba. Wubba's coming up later in this video because he, like the stock analysts, weren't not listening. And I'm going to be a little bit more direct like Jay Powell as well. Get ready for Wubba in the big second half. He is exactly related to those Wall Street analysts. The other data that came in that same day was the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, the PCE. I like this data because it's inflation. We featured this PCE on the channel for over a month. Why is this a great data point? It's released in between the CPI. You know what the CPI is. I trained you on this one. It's the Consumer Price Index, which gives you a guidance on inflation. It gives you a guidance on how much your benefits are going up. And this PCE is released in between the release of the CPIs. So the CPI, the last CPI was released on August 10th for the month of July. The next one is about September 10th for the month of August. This PCE comes in right in between. I love it because it tells you what the next one is going to be. And what was this PCE? It was flat. Yes, I love that. Flat is good. Higher is good. Lower is not good. The PCE release on Friday was basically flat. It follows the CPI, the PPI, and the retail sales, which were all basically flat over the last few weeks. This is looking good. Let's go over why, starting right now. Your benefits are going up a lot because they're gauged based upon inflation. And then inflation stems from the CPI, but also we get guidance of it from the PCE released on Friday. Let's go over how your benefits are going up. Then we'll go over what's going on with inflation. Then we'll cut back to how much your benefits are going up, starting right now. Your benefits are going up a lot. Some of you $5,000, some of you less. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and more. Why? Because inflation is really hot. We'll go over the inflation part of this analysis in 1 second. Your benefits are going up a lot. Because this inflation is so hot. Let's remember that this is lifetime stimulus. Once your benefits go up, they never go down. So let's say, for example, this year they go up 10%. That means a lifetime they will be up at least 10%. If inflation next year is 2%, well, guess what? It's 2% on top of the 10%. Your benefits are tied to inflation, and you don't have to do anything to see these benefit raises. So now let's go over to why this inflation is so hot and how much your benefits are going up, starting right now. Your benefits are tied to something called the CPI-W, a component of the CPI, and it's released once a month. That CPI in the month of May was really darn hot. How hot was it? A whopping 8.6%. But your benefits are determined by the number released in the month of July, August, and September. What was in May? 8.6%. Wow. June, even higher. Let's see June right now. 9.1%. My goodness, that is whopping hot. Your benefits are determined by the data release the month after, July, August, and September. And so that's where we're watching that CPI on August 10th to make sure benefits would be going up based upon a flat or higher CPI. In June, the PPI went higher, the CPI went higher, and the retail sales went higher. So what happened in the July number released August 10th? It was flat. The headline number was about half a percentage point lower, but it's basically flat. The component parts were higher. So we still need 2 more months of data, but let's go over the analysis right now. Your benefits go up. Some of you 5,000, some of you more, some of you less. Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security Rail benefits. The same percentage raise? Yes, absolutely. Why? Let's go over how this happens. Your benefits are tied to something called COLA, cost of living adjustment. And that number is determined by another number over 3 months. We already previewed that just a second ago. The CPI-W, a subsection of the CPI. For July, released August 10th, we already got that. The August released September 10th, and the September data released October 10th. We already saw that number was basically flat. It was about a half a percentage point on the headline number. The component parts, the components like salaries, rent, food, milk, and eggs went actually up in the month of July. If we see that number flat or higher, then your benefits are going up an enormous amount, Now, do we have to wait for 2 months more of data? Yes, to be official, but we can get other data points in between them, and they are the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index released last Friday, flat. Wow. Earlier last week, the retail sales flat. Wow. And the PPI flat as well. Oh, this is looking really good. How can we also see it ourselves with our own eyes? The supermarket. Milk and eggs flat? Yes. The rent flat? Well, the landlord's not going to cut your rent. Of course not. The salaries flat? Yes, they're not going to cut your salaries. And then the gasoline. Oh boy, the gasoline is going higher. Not the domestic unleaded, but the international price of Brent crude, which will eventually bring the domestic unleaded higher. That international price of Brent crude was 92 2 weeks ago on this channel. It is back up to 100, 104. That was really quick. I told you it was going to happen. So it's looking really good based upon that August 10th CPI of 8.5%. How much, if that was the only benchmark, which is not because we have 2 more months of this data, if that was the only benchmark, how much would your benefits go up? Well, the Seniors League, when looking at that number, says 10.1%. If we had that same number for 2 more months, do I agree or I think that's a little bit light? I think it's a little bit light. Why? Because the milk and eggs, there's no indications going down. The rent, no indications going down. The salaries, no indications going down. And yes, the gasoline is going higher if you track from the international price of the Brent crude, not from the domestic unleaded. Wow, this is looking really good across the board. And again, this is lifetime stimulus. So I'm saying 10.1% is a little bit light. I think it could be more across the board. This last week was an exciting week on this channel. Very exciting. In fact, the last 2 weeks has been hideously exciting, especially if you're a member. If you're not a member, become a member right now. If you are a member, make sure you rejoin or stay a member, because what happened in the last 14 days? 9 new categories of checks, and it's not just 9 checks. It's about 12 new checks on top of the nearly 100 checks that I had for you before that. Now this channel has nearly 200 checks for you over this 4th stimulus. What happened? What happened was checks L and M debuted this last week. The week before that, Congress passed a bill that has checks E through K. So now we started in March with checks A through C, and now we have checks E through M on this channel. You got to become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Powercast, VIP, and the big second half. We're going to go over all these incredible checks right then. Let's look at that graphic for the first 3 checks that became law in the month of March that viewers have been getting, and I hope you have been a member. If you haven't, become a member right today. Let's look at those first 3 checks from the month of March that viewers have been getting across the board. You deserve them today. The first 3 checks were $100,000. They are checks A through C. Those are the first 3 checks for stimulus that viewers are beginning from the federal government in every U.S. state. It's from the federal government, not from your states. Again, from the federal government. Over $100,000 of money. And it's absolutely incredible. Over those 3 different categories of checks, A through C, it's over 100 checks by executive action, passed in the month of March, you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it as well. Single individual, $75,000 or less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, become a member. Go right in this video and become a member. Then this last week, 2 new checks were revealed on this channel. So now we are up to A through M, 100 to 200 checks. My goodness, so exciting. How do you get these incredible checks? You become a member on this video. Join this channel, then get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. And go get those incredible checks in the newsletter Monday through Friday. Incredible, so exciting. In that membership newsletter is something that's also really exciting, the worksheets. In that newsletter, you have A through C. Then lower in the newsletter, you have E through K. Then lower in the newsletter, L and M. But at the first 3 lines are the worksheets. And here we have them on set for you today. It's a PDF you can print out from your phone, and it's incredible. It's about 8 pages in length. What do we know about the first page? A lot of new data. Page 1, inflation. The headline inflation may have peaked, but the component parts have not, and that's why your benefits are likely to go up. J-Powell made it very clear that inflation is here for a while. We already knew that. Inflation is here for a while, and that's why you need all those interest rate spikes from the Fed governors. Recession's here. And I'll be speaking in the big second half about the comments that came from recession from 2 economists this week and why they're very disingenuous. Labor, flat with those jobless claims. Unemployment in the United States, when you look at the rate, is the lowest since 1969. We'll analyze that in the big second half. Federal Reserve, I've been telling you for 2 weeks on the channel, that J. Powell and co., the federal governors, will have a 75 basis point every month through now through, they don't meet now, in September all the way through December. Remember, you're watching the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. I said you're going to get a recession in February of this year. I said you're going to have inflation at 8% for a long time in January of last year. I've gotten those unemployment claims right, and I've also gotten those interest rate spikes from J. Powell correct as well. The next page of the worksheets is so helpful. It's a place to keep track of where you apply for all those checks. Yeah, you got 100 to 200 checks to apply for. That's a lot of checks. And so you need a table to keep track of it. When I created this table, we only had check A through C. Now we have A through M. So I recommend you to print out multiple copies of this table. One viewer got 14 months of rent last week, revealed it last Saturday on this channel. Dragon has, who's a volunteer on this channel, has now gotten over $140,000. One viewer got 14 months of rent, different than the other viewer got 14 months of rent. One viewer got 12 months of utilities. Lynn Glenn, let's see if I remember, she got 12 months of utilities, and she also got rent for a few months less. Then we have Spelly, who got check A and check C's. And then we have the viewer out of Florida who got 18 months of about 5 checks a month. Oh my goodness, that is 80 checks across the board. What did she do? Well, she filled out this page, but she forgot what she had applied for. She had applied for check B. State of Florida contacted her, says, ma'am, you've been approved. Oh, wow. For what? Check B. Oh, what for? Mortgage. Oh, I forgot to apply for that. Yes. How many months? 1? No, 18 months. That's a lot of money. Your mortgage for 18 months, that is an incredible amount of money. And her utilities, she didn't remember that either. Let's assume she had 4 utility bills per month. That's 4 plus the mortgage. That's 5 bills per month. 5 bills per month times 18 months. Oh, yes, that's 80 to 100 checks. That's incredible. That's why you want to become a member. You put it all this on this incredible news, on this incredible worksheets. The next page is your benefits. You can run numbers. Seniors League saying 10.1%. I'm saying a little bit more. You can run the numbers, see the difference. And gasoline, I'm predicting that gasoline is going up. Why? In the fall months, gasoline always goes up because refineries go offline because of hurricanes and natural disasters. They also go up because of increased demand and less production. Those refineries were at full capacity because of the need to solve this problem with the higher price of gasoline, and that's why gasoline fell. But they're not going to stay at these escalated prices of gasoline, and the demand is increasing. People back to school, back to work in the fall. That's why the gasoline is going to track higher. In the big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks. Checks A through M. Whoa, that's a lot of checks. 100 to 200 checks. You're not seeing this anywhere in broadcast media, not seeing this anywhere in print media. I'm the only one who has this for you because I search these checks out for you. I care about you. They don't. And we go over all these incredible checks one at a time. I find these checks for you because I care that you survive this recession. They don't care about you whatsoever. They care about themselves. In the big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks one at a time for how do you apply for them, how you get them. And we meet two new cast of characters for this channel, Wubba and Mubba. Oh, they're hysterical. Get ready to laugh with me with Wubba and Mubba. They're fictionalized, but you're going to enjoy the humor that they have for you when it comes to, yes, stimulus. Can Wubba get this right, or is Mubba going to tell him to take out the garbage? We'll go over the latest details on Wubba and Mubba, go through all your incredible stimulus in the big second half, and we'll also go over that recessionary debate. It's a big second half. For the shores of Santa Monica, California, make sure you become a member under this video, and I'll see you back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on a beautiful August 28th, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Hope you're having a beautiful day. We got shows throughout the day, and it's a beautiful weekend. I told you we have a lot of breaking news. We do. We'll go over the latest details on your 4 stimulus checks in the big second half. Did you become a member? Hope you did. Go under the Become a Member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. There are no other stimulus checks except the ones I have for you on this channel. They're a needle and haystack, and I found them because I love needles and haystacks. We'll go over I don't know where that came from. We'll go over all these incredible checks in this big second half, starting right now. Checks A through C, then checks E through K, and then checks L and M. The first 3 checks are A, B, and C. They were done by the President of the United States by executive action in the month of March, and we've been getting these incredible checks since then. And let's look at the first check, check A. $6,500 to $12,000. It's a 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it across the board. This is the check that Spelly got. And how do you get this incredible check? Step 1, go under the video and subscribe. You're watching LALATE, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, getting very close to number 2. Now with 3 broadcasting channels in this family of broadcasting, LALATE 1, LALATE 2, and LALATE 3. The website that started nearly 20 years ago, LALATE.com, 3 channels of 3 live shows, and tape programming coming as well. Go under this video, join the channel, then get the membership newsletter for members Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts for members. Go down that membership alert from YouTube to where you find Check A, click the link, go right in and apply. Choose your state, choose the weatherizing grant, and go get it. So simple. But you're not going to stop there yet. Of course not. You're going to go get Check B. Oh, baby. $15,000 to $80,000, a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. This is the check the viewer out of Florida got, or categories of checks. She got 80-plus checks. It's over $80,000 for her. Fourth stimulus owner's grant. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, go get it as well. Become a member. Under the video, join the channel, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP member. Get the membership newsletter. Go down to the membership and the membership newsletter delivered via the YouTube alerts Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where it says Check B. Click the link, go right in and choose your state. And pounds, my goodness. Check B, Check A, the culmination of 2 checks right there. That is over $100,000 in just 2 checks. But we're not done there yet. We're going to go get Check C. This predates fourth stimulus. It predates third stimulus. We've been getting Check C on this channel since 2020. That's how long I've been helping people on this channel. And it is, some cases, an average of $45,000, but a lot of viewers have gotten more than $45,000. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And this is for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. Yes, renters can go get it as well. Go under the video, join the channel. Get the membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts for members. Go down to where Check C is. It tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. There's going to be at least 12 places to reach out to. For those no less than about 5 checks a month over 14 months, yeah, that's 100 checks to possibly get. With 12 possible places to reach out to, 100, yeah, that's just a lot of checks. A lot of possible checks. Go get these incredible checks. Let's look at the success stories that have been on this channel for over 2 years. And it starts with the rent success stories. Oh my goodness, so much money. Let's look at them starting right now. They start with Nisi up to Elizabeth, $30,000 of rent. Look at that. If you want to get this money, go get Check C. Utilities from Mark all the way up to Angela. Go get this incredible Check C. His brother-in-law got $15,000. His brother-in-law is getting $250,000 a year, $250,000 over 10 years for SNAP. Combinations of checks. Nisi, Mark, Lorraine, Nancy. Nisi was at $23,000. Now she's at $50,000. Mark was at $32,000. Now he's at $166,000. He went to $50,000. This graphic. Then he got Check B, $66,000. Incredible. Great success story. Lorraine, who celebrated her birthday this week, went from 105 to 155. What do? They keep on getting money across the board. Whatever money they got, they go back and get more money. They're averaging 14 months of these items, and they watch all the videos. They're in all the live chats because there's always brand new breaking news of checks. Last Sunday, we had a breaking news report at an unusual time zone we've never recorded videos at. Why? Because Congress had passed new checks. And those new checks are E through K. These incredible checks of E through K were passed by Congress a week ago, and they immediately were announced by this channel in a primetime broadcast. They went right into the membership newsletter on Monday. How many broadcasters even mentioned E through K? I really can't tell you. It's less than 2. How many channels? None, except me. Let's go over those incredible checks right now. Check E is $7,500. Check F is $4,000. Then Check G is a whopping 30% off. Check K is $2,000. Check I, $8,000. Check J, $8,000. Check K, $14,000. And then my promise to you is I keep on looking for checks for you. And then right after Congress passed checks E through K, I found 2 new checks as well, because they were really heating up the housing market news this week. I found L and M. L like a lot and M like money. L is about a $100,000 on average for a student for a loan interest fee for the purchase of a first home. $100,000 again for a loan interest free for the purchase of new home. And then M is a lot of checks, $4,000 in closing costs for the purchase of that home. Wow, that's incredible. That is $104,000 right there. And that's on top of the $100,000 at least we've been covering in checks A through M. Just incredible sums of money. I'm so proud of the viewers of this channel. What do you need to do? Let's recap. Go into the video, subscribe. You're watching the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. You need to subscribe to this channel, LA1, LA2, and LA3. You need to watch those videos as well because there's more content on those channels that go over this money for you and the economy. Number 2, become a member to LA1, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Welcome to the new members as well to LA2 and LA3. If you're a member of any of the 3 channels, you get the membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hit the bells at the front of all 3 channels to all on so you don't miss an alert. That means all alerts turn to all on so you don't miss a recording when it happens. And now let's introduce ourselves to Mubba and Wubba. They're 2 fictionalized characters. No, it's not you. They're fictionalized characters. We need a little humor, don't we? We need a little humor. And let's introduce ourselves to Wubba and his wife, Mubba. Wubba was in the live chat on this channel about 2 weeks ago. In the live chat, and what did Wubba write? Wubba wrote, there's no money in Kentucky. Oh boy, he's in trouble. Then he wrote, they need to send the FPC retro out. Oh, you're really in trouble. Then Wubba wrote, they need to do the CR for stimulus right now. You need to catch up with the current situation. And then Wubba wrote, Joe Biden is not our president. Banned. So at that point, Wubba was banned from the channel. Wubba was banned. And then what did Wubba do? Wubba said, I'm going to go become a member. Why? You're banned from the channel. But he did. Wubba joined as a member to the channel. At that point, Mubba walked up to Wubba and said, honey, can you take out the garbage? I'll get to it. I remember you. I'll get to it. You're my wife. I'll get to taking out the garbage. Wubba now became a member of the channel. And at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, did not get the newsletter. Why not? Because he's banned from the channel. If you're banned from the channel, you don't get a newsletter because you're no longer a member in good standing. At that point, his wife, Mubba, walked up and says, honey, it's been a day. Can you take out the garbage? I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I remember. So what did Wubba do? He didn't get the membership newsletter. So he went over to LA.com and he signed up for the LALATE.com alerts, which the video says the newsletter sent via the YouTube alerts, which are very different than the LALATE.com alerts. And let's pull up that graphic right now. Here is that graphic. It's sent out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alerts. Well, Wubba went over to LA.com and signed up for the LALATE.com alerts, totally different. And Wubba is in New York. And Wubba at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time, said, I didn't get an alert from the LA.com alerts. Well, first of all, it sent out 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and it sent out via the YouTube alerts, not via the LA alerts. At that point, Mubba walked up and said, honey, are you remembering anything? I told you to take out the garbage. It's been the 3rd day. Now we have 2 packages of garbage. I'll get to it. Wubba then, when he saw the LALATE.com alerts, not listened to the video that's saying it's coming from the YouTube alerts, hit the LALATE.com alert, hit it, and it sends him to a monkey. He loves monkeys, but that doesn't give him a newsletter. It means he's bad. So what happened 2 days ago or 3 days ago? 3 days ago, members started joining LA2 and LA3, the 2 new channels as family. So what did LA.com think? Well, the LALATE.com alert that used to send you into the YouTube alert doesn't make sense anymore because there's members who are now members of different channels. All 3 members of different channels get their own membership alert, get their membership newsletter, but on their respective channel. If you're a member of channel 3, you're getting the alert, you're getting the membership newsletter on channel 3. You're not getting the membership newsletter on channel 1. If you're a member to channel 2, you're not getting the newsletter on channel 2. You're getting the newsletter on the channel you are a member to. Member channel 2, you get the newsletter on channel 2. You're not getting it somewhere else. So what did I do about 3 days ago? I looked at the LALATE.com alerts, and I said, it doesn't make sense to click on the LALATE.com alerts and send someone to just one newsletter, because that may not be the channel they're a member to. Pretty obvious, right? Why would I send out an alert from LALATE.com that sends them to the wrong page and the wrong channel if that's not the channel they're a member to? So basically, LALATE.com changed the alert on LALATE.com to basically say, go read your YouTube alert. Your membership newsletter has just been sent to you on the YouTube alert, which is the only place you can read the membership newsletter is on YouTube. What did Bubba do? Well, suddenly the LA.com alert says, hi, go read your newsletter. It just arrived on YouTube. He clicked it. It doesn't click to anything. It doesn't go anywhere. He said, oh, it's broken. It's not broken. I removed the alert on LALite.com to send you to anything because it's too confusing. I may be sending you to a channel you're not a member to. It basically says, hi, go read your membership newsletter on your respective channel. It was just sent out. So what does Mubba do at this point? She walks up to her husband, Wubba, and says, honey, it's been the 4th day. You haven't taken out the garbage. We now have 3 bags of garbage. I haven't forgotten. I'll get to it soon. What does Wubba do now? And what do I do? Well, every night, every day on this channel, I send out an alert to members. And yes, you're a member who can see alert. An alert that says, if you have a question about the newsletter, send it to me on facebook.com/LA News. Pretty simple, right? The only problem about it is if you're a member who cannot see anything because you're banned for the channel, you can't see that either. What does Wubba do? Wubba starts searching the web in a way to contact LALite that is not allowed on this channel. In fact, I actually send that message as well. Do not contact LALite in another manner other than Facebook. So what does Wubba do? He looks high and low. Figures, oh, wait, I will contact LALite via email. No, you won't. I won't read it. I don't get it. And so Wubba starts sending emails to LALite.com. No, you don't. In fact, that's ground to be banned for the channel. So Wubba starts sending emails. Say, hi, your links don't work on LALite.com. No, they don't send you newsletters via LALite.com. They send you via YouTube. And Joe Biden's your president. Let's look at that graphic again, Wubba. Let's look at that graphic again. Let's see what it says very clearly. It says that the YouTube alert, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, sends you the alert to go get the newsletter. Wubba's in New York. He's saying 7 o'clock in New York time. No, it's Pacific Standard Time. And it's sent via the YouTube alert. And Wubba is looking at the LALate.com alert. He's just really not listening. At this point, Mubba walks in and says, honey, there's now 3 bags of garbage. You haven't heard me for 3 days. Can you throw out the garbage? At this point, Wubba hasn't listened to Mubba, and he's really not listening to me. Ultimately, I can't help Wubba if he doesn't listen to anyone and doesn't even listen to his wife. Wubba needs to throw out the garbage. And when he's at it, he needs to throw himself out as well. There's a point at which people just simply don't listen to anything, and you can't help people that don't listen to things. He said that Joe Biden's not your president. He's over at LA.com trying to find ways to contact via email that's not permitted. He's looking at LA.com for LA.com alerts. He's not listening to the time zone. He's literally not listening to anything, including his own wife for the garbage. I can't help Wubba. And Wubba simply doesn't want to listen to anyone, and Wubba will never get off of stage 1 to stage 2. He won't get off of anything. And when he's looking at that garbage, insert the rep. Finish the sentence for me. Let's go to the other breaking story across the board today. The other breaking story is this recession. The other breaking story is really the recession. 2 negative quarters of GDP growth have been posted by the U.S. economy. That qualifies as a recession. That is the only definition of recession. Earnings recessions manifest in those companies that are downward guided for the rest of this year. Housing is clearly in a recession, says the National Association of Home Builders. So everything manifests itself as a recession. What has been happening elsewhere? What has been happening elsewhere is both the White House is sending out economic representatives to say there is no recession, and even individuals who our economists have been saying there's no recession because of one data point. That data point they're using is the labor rate, lowest labor rate since unemployment rate since 1969. Do you get to do that? No, you don't. You don't get to take a defined economic term, recession, defined as 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, and say the definition doesn't qualify because one data point doesn't fit the definition. No. The unemployment rate, yeah, it doesn't qualify as a clear recession. You don't get to do that because I can do the same thing back to you. Housing does, earnings does, you don't get to do that. And projections for the rest of this year across the board, you don't get to do that. And I got to tell you, it's that type of false narrative we didn't allow under the last administration. We don't allow this administration as well. At least we should not. It is a recession, and you can't use one data point to invalidate it. And let's make this clear as well. That's exactly what Wall Street was doing over the last 2 weeks. Jay Powell and co. said Wall Street is not going to do more interest rate spikes, even though they told you they were. Jay Powell and co. are going to stop interest rate spike in September. No, they actually said they're going to stay with it. Jay Powell and co. said we'll stop those interest rate spikes and pivot and leave inflation alone at an 8%. No, that's actually against their charter establishment of the Federal Reserve. Does it sound like a similar fake narrative? It is. Whether it's the White House telling you it's not a recession, whether it's Wall Street saying Jay Powell is going to change his interest rate spikes, don't bet against what the obvious is. We don't do this on channel. We go with the data first. The data is the Fed governors. What they say they're going to do is data because that's what their charter agreement is. We don't bet against their words. We don't bet against the economic data, which is housing, which is jobless claims, which is inflation, which is earnings guidance for the rest of this year. We don't bet against the data. And ultimately, when people come out and say it's not this, it's not that, what are they basically doing? They're spinning stories for themselves. Yeah, it's dangerous. It's really dangerous, and all impacts you and our economy. Guess what was on local news this morning at 7 a.m.? Jay Powell. Jay Powell at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Yeah. What was on Sunday morning local news? Stock market crash. Yes. Because these stories really resonate with mom and pops, local people, everyone. When the stock market is down 1,000 points, everyone goes like that because they realize there's something wrong. It's not supposed to be doing that. Stock market's not supposed to be down 1,000 points. The Federal Reserve is not supposed to be front page news on a Sunday. It's supposed to be football or, soccer. He's not supposed to be front page news. Now he is. That's why this channel is working, because I go to the data point and we go over the data point and I repeat it to you before the event happens. When they tell you what they're going to do, we know it. Join me tonight on Evenings LA at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and then the programming continues at 6, 7, and 8 with all the continuous shows. Jump in the live show as well, LA Live. Please jump over to LA2 and LA3. You want to watch those shows. You need the complete story. LA3 is the economy. LA2 is the stimulus. You need to hear the complete story. If you don't, you're getting half of the story. That's why we launched 2 new channels to give you more in-depth coverage across the board. You deserve that in-depth coverage. Make sure you watch those 2 new channels. Plus, Take Programming is coming to LA2 and LA3 this next week. Become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Don't become a mubba, don't become a wubba. You deserve these big sums of money delivered via the YouTube alerts Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go on to this video, become a new member, and welcome to the hundreds of new members in the last few days. Become a member and stay a member. Tell your friends and family to come on over to the channel that's winning and the community that's winning. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day, and stay with LA for more.